Alright, so 2.4 is going to be all about dividing polynomials, and in the first part, we're only going to talk about long division. So to do long division, we need to understand a few key terms. Our divisor is going to be the polynomial we are dividing by. So if you think about old style that you did in younger grades, it's the piece outside your division symbol, and then your dividend is the polynomial that's being divided. So when we do our long division, we're going to be dividing two polynomials. And our steps for this, we need to start by arranging all terms in descending order of degree, so that means your highest exponent first, and then moving your way down by 1 degree each time. After you do that, you're going to divide your first term in the dividend by the first term in the divisor. This number is what we're going to place on top of our division symbol, and we're going to multiply each term in the divisor by that number. And then we're going to subtract these terms. So a key part here that we tend to make some silly mistakes on is that we need to remember we're actually going to do subtraction here. And then we're going to repeat the process from D until we have a degree lower than that of the divisor. So that probably all sounds like Greek, what I just described to you, but we're going to break it down step by step in our example here. So I've got my divisor and dividend here. X plus 5 is what we're dividing by, so that goes outside our division symbol. And then x squared plus 8x minus 15 goes inside. So we've already got these into descending order, so we don't need to worry about anything. The first piece was to take our first terms and divide them. So if I look at x squared over x, that result gives me x. So I'm going to take this x and I'm going to put it on top here, and I like to align mine right over the other x's. Now I take this and I multiply it through, so I'm actually distributing. So x times x is going to give me x squared, plus x times 5 is going to give me 5x. And here is where I said we tend to make mistakes. After we do that, we need to make sure that we are subtracting. So really it's like subtracting for this whole thing. So we get x squared minus x squared. These first two should always cancel out, and 8x minus 5x gives us 3x. And now we start to just repeat the process. So I'm going to take my first term here now, and actually I should also say I'm going to bring down this minus 15. Okay, I brought that straight down. So I'm taking my first term 3x over my first term x, and that gives me 3. So I put a plus 3 on top. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to distribute through. So 3 times x is going to give me 3x, and then 3 times 15 is going to give me plus 15. Again, I changed color here. This is where I tend to make the mistake. So 3x minus 3x, those remember should always cancel out. Here, this is not going to be 0 because it's negative 15 minus 15 gives me a negative 30. So the answer to this division is x plus 3 with a remainder of negative 30. The other way we could write that is x plus 3 plus a negative 30 over x plus 5. Okay, either one of these is how we're going to be writing them. So that's one example. If we look at another example here, so again I set it up, I put my x plus 3 outside the division symbol, and 2x cubed plus 7x squared plus 9x minus 20. I start the same way. I take my first term, 2x cubed over x, and that's going to give me 2x squared. So I put my 2x squared outside here. There we go. And then I'm going to multiply through. So 2x squared times x gives me 2x cubed, plus 2x squared times 3 is going to give me 6x squared, and I remember to subtract here. So first term should always cancel out. Second term, 7x squared minus 6x squared is going to end up with just an x squared. Do the same thing on my side over here. X squared over x is going to give me just an x. So now I'm going to say plus x here. And don't forget to bring down your next term, plus 9x, and if I want, I can bring down the minus 20. I'm not really going to need that yet, though. You'll see in a minute. So x times x is going to give us an x squared, plus x times 3 gives us a 3x. Don't forget we are subtracting. So first terms cancel out. 9x minus x, or 3x is going to give us 6x, and you see there's no minus 20, so I just bring down our minus 20 again. And now I have to do it one more step than I did the last time because our degree is not lower here. We have 6x over x gives us 6. So plus 6 here. And do your division through, or your multiplication through, your distribution. 6 times x gives us 6x plus 18. And again, we are subtracting here. So our first two terms cancel out. Negative 20 minus 18 is going to give us a negative 38. So our division would be 2x squared plus x plus 6 plus negative 38 over x plus 3. And that would be our long division. Okay, the parts that we tend to struggle with the most are this stuff over here. I would just do a little bit of extra work until you get the hang of it. It's always just your first term divided by your first term. And that's what you're going to multiply through here. So this stuff is what we use to distribute through our side. So that is the idea of long division. And that's all we're going to have in this lesson. We'll do some more practice on that tomorrow. Okay, see you next time.